Alrighty, good evening, everyone. This is Bram for Unit 2. So for this week, I noticed that all of the articles related to the concept of confessions and confessionalization. And so as we're looking at these, I of course split them up in the same way that um, the question was set up with the rights, the religion, and identity. So, starting with rights, um, I had written on my post like confessionalization had become the new form of German rights only a few decades after Martin Luther, right? So, I of course I used Harrington and Smith's article on confessionalization when it talked about like civil republicanism resuscitating as a result of the Second Reformation, and really how confessions became like a dynastic rivalry um, in the 30 Years' War. So confessions were a form of rights or German civilians' rights during the Holy Roman Empire, while it was also a form of divisiveness between Catholicism and Protestantism. Excuse me. So moving on to the religions themselves between Protestantism and Catholicism. Um, Confessionalization was, of course, a divisive idea that led to religious warfare in the 30 Years' War. Um, but, of course, confessions regarded religion as central to the general constitution of early modern Europe, as Reinhard states in his article. So, like, the concept of nation states, well, yeah, like the nation states is sort of are building at the same time as like the concept of Protestantism and Catholicism are solidifying, right? So that was one thing that I noticed as well. Like as the nation states are being created, the religions of each nation states are sort of being chosen, right? So like Germany, of course, is moving more towards Protestantism, while other states or countries or whatever may have gone towards a different path since Martin Luther's Protestant Reformation. And then lastly, looking at the identity, of course, I used the Forster article for that. Um, I loved Forster's examples with the Jesuits and the Capuchins as basically components of Catholicism. The reason why I thought that was so important was because it shows that Catholicism was not unilateral, right? Catholicism had different components to it, as did Protestantism. So not every Catholic thought the same way, and not every Catholic was part of the Counter Reformation either, right? Catholics of all sorts would just practice their faiths in the way that they were used to. And then, of course, lastly, with Prinity's article, I noticed that that author really encompasses all three of those parts of the German Reformation. And I think that's about it. The one sentence that I really wanted to address is, as Catholics reformed the Church and the AHRE, their religion was questioned on top of their German national identities. So that's sort of like a dual objective there. So like I've been saying, as the religions have been becoming more distinct and solidifying between themselves, at the same time the nation state of Germany was starting to become constructed.